Police Commissioner Mike Bush, the country's top cop, says he makes no excuses for an historical drink driving conviction. It happened 34 years ago, his bosses knew, and he survived as a police officer at the time. He today received the backing of Police Minister Paula Bennett. Now, the offence happened, as we said, in 1983. In 1991, police policy changed effectively to one strike and you're out. Under the Clean Slate Act, historic convictions are automatically concealed if you've had no other convictions within the last 7 years, you've never been given a custodial sentence and you've fully paid any fines or other costs. That applied to Mike Bush, but he waived his right to privacy after questions from Fairfax's Stuff Circuit team. Earlier this afternoon, he told me what exactly he'd done.
I was convicted of driving with excess blood alcohol back in, the incident occurred in 1983 in Auckland.
You were
and I pled guilty several months later.
Right, you were 23 years old at the time?
I was.
How long have you been in the police force for at that stage?
At that stage, I'd been a police officer for 5 years, and I was in my training as a detective.
Okay, you received what? What were $250 fine and disqualification?
Yes, it was the standard $250 fine and 6 months disqualification.
Right. Post 1991, when another commissioner of police said, drink driving and you're out, would you have survived in the police force?
I would not have after 1991. Back in 1983, expectations were different. Obviously, I reported this to my supervisors, superiors straight away. The matter was acknowledged and dealt with, and I've been reflecting on it ever since, but it did not impact on my career. Back in the day, there was a different attitude to drink driving. I think where it is now is exactly the right place. We have high expectations and about our staff and about every member of the public, because as I reflect on what I did, I knew what I'd done wrong. But the more I reflect, the thing that concerns me is that I did something dangerous. So, it wasn't a good thing then, it was wrong, and it's wrong now. And, I congratulate police and all of the partners that work in this space to have moved that culture, because, it's a dangerous thing, and I advise anyone not to drink and drive.
Okay, so you uphold the post-1991 regime, which is that for an identical offence now, you would almost certainly lose your career as a police officer.
Yeah, John, I have a personal view. The view that was taken by the Commissioner of the day and by executive leaders is a very objective view. You could consider mine quite subjective because I have a different experience. But I have a personal view, but I also acknowledge and support the organisational view.
And the organisational view is you're out? That's
right.
Your personal view is?
My personal view, and this is a difficult thing to talk to because I'm very supportive of the organisational view and the culture shift that's been made. But as I reflect on myself, I made a really bad mistake, but I learned from it and I've moved on, and it has shaped my thinking in this space.
The issue now, I guess, is, and you were 23 at the time, and it was how many years ago?
34.
Yeah. So 34 years ago, and you were 23 years old, but the issue now is there is a slight sense of do as I say, not as I did, right?
Yes, and that's a very, very fair comment, John, but all I can say is it was a very long time ago. It was a different time. There were different attitudes, but that doesn't make it right. It was still the wrong thing to do. And again, I can only say that the way I view it is that I made a massive mistake. I learnt from it. And I'm really proud to be the leader of the New Zealand Police. It's a great organisation. And I'm just so fortunate that I continue to have that opportunity.
You got the opportunity to learn from it, right? You're now head of an organisation where a similar situation, the 23-year-old wouldn't get the opportunity to learn from it. And look, boy, there, but for the grace of God go almost everyone in this country over the age of 50, I suspect, because the culture has changed so much. But is this confusing now to have a commissioner of police who has a drink driving offence and who is the head of an organisation in which people who do the same thing now would be out?
Yes, and I completely understand that view. I don't have the perfect answer to that, John, other than to say it is a different time now. My personal view is that, we should look at these things case by case, but that's just a personal, subjective view.
Mike Bush, the police commissioner, that offence from 1983.